Hey Busy Bees, it's Zung, and today I am back with another Thanksgiving dessert recipe. I've partnered with Mealthy to share a pumpkin gingersnap cheesecake that's made in your Mealthy Multipot. Isn't that genius? Basically, this pumpkin cheesecake will save room in the oven once it's game time for all your holiday cooking. Anyways, let's get this video to 2,000 likes, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell once you've subscribed to my channel, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so here we have some Gingersnap cookies that I've already crushed for our crust. So I like Gingersnap cookies because the ginger in there kind of adds a nice zing to the overall dessert. But if you want to use graham crackers or even Biscoff, which are those cookie butter, what they use to make cookie butters, that could work as well. I have 1.5 cups here, and I'm gonna add it to this bowl along with 1.5 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. And then we'll just mix until it's combined. And then in my 7-inch flat bottom removable cake pan. Now I like using these removable bottom types because I just feel like they're less bulky and they fit better in the Mealthy Multipot trivet. I will show you that later, but a 7-inch works perfectly, or you can downsize to a 6-inch as well. Now, I've already lined it with some parchment paper at the bottom, so I'm just gonna pour our Gingersnap mixture to the bottom of the pan, and then with my glass jar with a flat bottom, I'll just pack it down until it's smooth. You want a nice, even, thin crust. I like flattening it down with this swirl motion, and then I just kind of press the crumbs into the corners with the glass jar. All right, this looks great, so I'm gonna pop this in the fridge, kind of let it firm up a little bit while we work on our pumpkin cheesecake mixture. Cool, so I have 2 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese here that I left out for a few hours to bring up to room temperature. Now, I cannot stress this point enough that you have to have all your ingredients for this recipe at room temperature, because if you don't, it's not gonna be smooth. It's gonna be like kind of chunky, and I don't think that's what you want. Okay, so I'll add my cream cheese to a big bowl, along with 1/3 cup of maple syrup and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I'm using a combination between the maple syrup and brown sugar because the maple syrup adds a really nice tang to our cheesecake, which I like. I'll whip it up with my hand mixer until it's smooth. And then we'll incorporate 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin spice, and 2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour. The all-purpose flour will help kind of firm it up later. I'll mix it again. And then one at a time, we'll add 2 eggs, also at room temperature. I'm only gonna mix it up a little bit with the hand mixer and finish it off by hand. I don't wanna whip too much air in this because the cheesecake will end up more like a souffle instead of a creamy, cheesy texture. This looks perfect. Our mixture is ready, so now I'm gonna pour this into our Gingersnap crust pan. We'll give it a quick shake to even it out, or jiggle I should say, and then we'll cover it up with a piece of foil, place it on our trivet, and this is going into our Mealthy Multipot. Now, to prepare the cooking process, in my Mealthy Multipot, I'll add 1.5 cups of water, then I'll place the trivet snugly inside the inner pot. I'll lock the pressure cooker lid in place and set the steam vent to ceiling. I'll select the cake setting and cook it on high pressure for 30 minutes. So the Mealthy Multipot has a progress indicator right here that shows me where the machine is in its cooking process. This is a feature that I especially love because I want to know where it's at before it comes to pressure, how much longer I have, in addition to the timer. So this little machine is like my best friend in the kitchen. Once it's done, I'll turn the steam vent to quick release the pressure, and once the knob drops, I'll open the lid to let the hot steam out. I'll turn the machine off and I'll keep the lid open for about 5 minutes so that everything can cool down. And then I'll put the lid back on and let it sit and hang out for the next hour or so that the whole pot and the cheesecake could reduce its temp naturally. So the reason why I'm doing this is because if I were to take the cheesecake out and let it sit at room temperature, it's gonna shock the cake and create a large crack. I've learned this during my testing process. So by letting it come down to temp slowly in the pot, you get a nice and smooth cheesecake. Of course, you can skip this process if you'd like, but personally, I like my cheesecake to be super smooth, and honestly, it would taste delicious either way, so do as you please. So once the cheesecake has cooled completely, I'll remove it from the inner pot and put the cheesecake in the fridge for at least 4 hours to chill. All right, our cheesecake is ready, and I'm just gonna lift up the foil to show you guys how beautiful it is. The reveal. So sometimes there might be a little bit of condensation on top from the steam, but that's not a problem at all. Just get a paper towel and just kind of pat it to remove, just very gently. The cheesecake did crack, but around the outside edge, which is totally fine because we're gonna remove it from the pan anyways. So where it did not crack, I'm just gonna take my butter knife and run it around the edge to loosen it up. And now to remove it, I'm gonna put it on something sturdy like this mason jar and slide it down. I'm a little nervous. There's high stakes here. We did it! Yay! Look at the pumpkin color and our cheesecake and the Gingersnap crust. All right, let's dig in. Beautiful, and now I'll just add a dollop of my maple pumpkin spice whipped cream, which I will link the recipe in the description box below. And look how perfect that is. I think we have to give it a try. Grab a little whipped cream first, and then the tip. I've made like 3 of these to test so that I could perfect the recipe, and every time I freaking love it. So the ginger snap still has little chunks of ginger in there. That's just, it adds a lot of interest, like I said. And then the pumpkin cheesecake from the maple syrup, it has a little bit of that tanginess, which I personally love. The texture is creamy, smooth. Like you can see that, no chunks of cream cheese in there because we had everything at room temperature. And then the maple whipped cream just ties everything together. And best of all, can you guys believe that this was made in a pressure cooker? The Mealthy Multipot is so convenient to have during the busy holiday cooking season. And honestly, it's like a trusty assistant that you know is gonna do a good job. I love it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys like this recipe, and comment below. Tell me what you plan to make in your Mealthy Multipot for Thanksgiving. And if you guys are interested in learning more about the Mealthy Multipot for your holiday cooking needs, or even as a gifting idea, check out the link in the description box below. If you guys have watched this far, be sure to give me a maple leaf for our secret emoji of the day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!